Hey, this is Michael Sansolo, and I want to build this week on something I talked about in my column last week. If you'll recall, if you read the column, I wrote about this experiment going on at Detroit Airport being done with facial recognition, where every individual passenger, instead of looking at that message board to try to find which flight is mine and which gate, it now can be personalized. So when I look at it, I will only see my information, and you could be standing next to me and you will only see your information, not mine. Incredible technology. And part of the reason I talked about that technology, because obviously it's not in any supermarket at the moment, but we have to remember that the technology that consumers see in other places, they are going to start having expectations of seeing everywhere, and that includes your store. So as we look at these explosive advances in technology, we have to keep looking at our own technology and asking, is it up to date? Is our website, are our apps, are they equal to what people are seeing in other walks of life? And I question whether they are, because things are moving pretty fast out there. I want to give you an example. Recently, I got this. It is an Apple Watch. And I got to be honest, part of the reason I got it, my wife knows that, as I've mentioned in columns before, I ride a bicycle quite a bit, and I have my share of mishaps. I have fallen, I've been in accidents. And one thing the Apple Watch does is, if I am in some sort of mishap and I am unable to get moving again, the watch will make a call to emergency services on my behalf to get me help. It's kind of like a much cooler form of those necklaces that used to be on all the late night television commercials of help, I've fallen, but I can't get up. You hit the thing and you get help. Now you can get it in a cool Apple Watch. And frankly, the watch does a ton of other things. I mainly use it to tell time, but it does things like you can get text and email through it. You can get stuff like a constant reading of your heart rate. It tracks my exercise patterns. I can do an EKG or get a blood oxygen reading on my body anytime I want it. Not that I know that I really need that kind of stuff. And in fact, I thought some of this was, maybe technology going well beyond what anybody really wants. So I heard this amazing story thanks to my wife. And I think we've got a link to it down below. What happened was, there was this woman in Maine who actually sleeps with her watch on, and you can do that, and it will tell you how well that you are sleeping. Her watch woke her up because it detected that she was in atrial fibrillation, where the heartbeat is kind of irregular, and it's a real danger sign. AFib, you've all heard of that. And she actually got this warning 3 times in one night and got it a couple of nights in a row. And finally went to the local emergency room and said, I think I'm an AFib. They said, why would you think that? She said, my watch told me. So they examine her and discover that, in truth, she is an AFib. They send her to a cardiologist. They do an echocardiogram, which takes a picture of the heart inside the body. And he discovers that she has a non-cancerous tumor growing in her heart. And obviously they have to operate to repair this. She asked the doctor, what would have happened if I didn't come in? And the doctor said, honestly, you were a candidate for a major stroke, if not death. Her watch saved her life. And so again, there's nothing I think we can do in a supermarket or any retail environment that can compare with that kind of experience. But we have to remember the consumer is doing things like wearing smarter watches than they've ever had in the past. We know that the vast majority of consumers have smartphones that do an incredible array of things for them. And so as an industry, as a consumer-facing industry, we have to constantly be challenging ourselves. Do we update with the times? Does our website, does our app, does our ordering platform, whatever it might be, is it as intuitive? Is it as creative? Is it as useful as something like an Apple Watch? And if it's not, what do we have to do? You don't have to become Apple. I mean, that's an amazing company with a lot of resources. You might not have that. But what could you do to create some kind of experience that people would say, you know what, you get it when it comes to technology. You're not giving me last year or last decade's technology, to be honest. You're pretty up to date. And I think that's something we have to understand, because we're in constant competition, obviously for the consumer's stomach, for the consumer's food dollar, but also for their attention. And if other forms of commerce look that much cooler than we do, we're not there. Well, that's what's on my mind this week. And as Kevin always says, want to hear what's on your mind. Thank you for your time.